Welcome to this channel. Mau belajar bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris dengan cara yang seru, santai, dan mudah dipahami? You're in the right place. Belajar kosakata dan ekspresi sehari-hari. Learn daily vocabulary and expressions. Dengarkan contoh situasi nyata. Listen to real-life examples. Subscribe sekarang dan nyalakan notifikasi. Let's learn together and have fun.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. We try to pack in surprising facts and, just enough humor to keep things interesting.
That's the goal.
Today, we're taking a really fascinating journey into the Indonesian language, but not through textbooks.
No, definitely not.
We're using the sort of vibrant lens of a national monument. We're going to see how deeply culture is woven into, every single word.
Exactly. And our sources for this deep dive, they're almost structured like lesson notes, which gives us a pretty unique angle.
Right.
So our mission really is to pull out key insights on how language, specifically those descriptive words, adjectives, how they don't just label things.
Yeah.
They actually help us understand and really appreciate cultural landmarks. So it's kind of a double deep dive, you could say.
Into the culture and the words themselves.
Exactly. Into a fascinating culture and the very words that bring it to life.
Okay, so to kick things off, let's join two friends, Lisa and Andi. They're visiting Indonesia's big national monument, Monas. We're just going to drop right into their conversation. Use it as our entry point into Indonesian.
Yeah, it's like you're experiencing Monas right there with them, through their eyes and ears. You get immersed in that bilingual context straight away.
Okay.
You'll hear what they notice, and then we can, unpack the linguistic gold inside.
All right, so imagine Lisa and Andi. They're standing there, taking it all in. Lisa starts. She says, "Lampu-lampu yang menerangi monumen itu berwarna-warni, sangat indah."
Which translates to?
The lights that are flashing on the monument are very colorful, really beautiful.
Ah, nice. And Andi responds, adding a little detail. Iya, lampu-lampu tersebut menerangi monumen hanya di malam hari.
Meaning?
Indeed, the monument's lights are only turned on in the evening. And that's interesting, right? It's not just functional.
Yeah.
It kind of hints at how these big landmarks change visually with the city's rhythm. It becomes a whole different experience after dark.
That's a really good point. Like Monas has a nighttime persona. Then Lisa points out, "Tama naman itu kelihatan sangat tinggi, and the monument looks really tall."
And Andi gives the stat.
Yeah, Andi comes back with, total Ketinggian Monument National adalah 137 meter.
The total height of National Monument is 137 meters.
Wow, that's definitely imposing.
Oh, yeah. It's a very precise detail, isn't it? It instantly gives you that sense of its, sheer scale. It just towers over the Jakarta skyline.
So, as they're looking around, Lisa spots something else. She says, "Di sini juga banyak dokar."
Dokar.
I will see a lot of dog carts here.
Right, horse carts.
And Andi suggests, kita bisa menelanjangi taman ini dengan menaiki dokar tersebut.
Oh, yeah?
So, we could go around the park on a dog cart.
See, and that's fascinating too, because it shows this isn't just some static monument you look at from afar. It's clearly a lively public square, where daily life happens. Seeing the Dakar paints a picture of that whole surrounding area.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really highlights how these major cultural spots in Indonesia are often deeply embedded in the community's everyday life. They're not just relics.
That's a great insight. Lisa's amazement continues. She says, "Juga menakjubkan melihat banyak orang bermain layang-layang."
Layang-layang. Kites.
Yeah, amazing to see so many people here playing kites too.
Kites, yeah.
And Andi adds another layer. Kita juga bisa memberi makan burung-burung merpati yang ada di sini.
Ah, the pigeons.
We could also feed the pigeons here.
Yeah.
So kite flying, feeding pigeons. It really does sound like a living space.
Absolutely, it's vibrant.
Okay, so that little snapshot from Lisa and Andy, it actually holds quite a bit of linguistic gold, as you called it.
It does.
Let's start pulling out some of that practical vocabulary. It's stuff that's key for anyone, trying to learn Indonesian.
Right, so we heard menerangi. That means to light up or to give light. Crucial verb for describing illumination, right? Whether it's monas or just a lamp at home.
Okay.
Like, think of the phrase, pada malam hari, banyak lampu menerangi area di kolam.
Which is?
In the evening, many lights illuminate the water in the ponds. It really paints a picture, doesn't it?
It does. And monument itself, the monument, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, direct loanword, basically. But remember on these other comment, monumen itu telah berdiri sejak tahun 1900.
Yeah.
The monument has been established since 1900, so it shows how monument fits into that historical context.
Gotcha. And the dokar that Lisa saw, that sounded unique.
It is. Dokar means horse cart or dog cart. If you hear a sentence like, banyak dokar yang berkeliling dalam taman hiburan itu. There are many horse carts going around in the amusement park. You immediately get that sense of it being used in maybe a touristy or leisurely setting.
Okay. And Lisa was excited about the layang-layang.
Yeah, layang-layang means kite. Simple sentence like, adik senang bermain layang-layang di lapangan dekat rumah.
Which is?
My brother likes to play kites in the field near our house. Perfect everyday example.
Makes sense. They also mentioned feeding the pigeons, so memberi makan.
Exactly. Memberi makan is to feed. It's a very useful compound verb, like, para petani di desa memberi makan sapi mereka setiap pagi.
Okay, farmers in the village.
Feed their cows every morning.
Yeah. And the pigeons themselves.
Merpati, that's pigeons. And there's a cool historical note there too.
Yeah.
Di masa lalu, burung merpati dilatih untuk mengirim surat.
In ancient times.
Pigeons were trained to send mail, so pigeon posts in ancient Indonesia.
Who do? Oh. And lampu was just the general word for light.
Yeah, lampu light or lamp, essential word. Like in the request, tolong matikan lampunya jika kamu meninggalkan ruangan ini.
Please turn off the light when you leave this room. Makes sense.
Simple, common. And finally, bisa, which means can or be able to. You hear it all the time.
Right.
Simple question. Bisa makan sambal? Can you eat chili sauce? Shows how versatile it is.
Okay, so those are the basic words, but you mentioned some of them have deeper stories, right, within the language itself. Let's maybe peel back a layer on a few.
Absolutely. Let's do that. Take lampu, for instance. It's not just light. It's like the root for all sorts of things that light up our world.
Like?
Well, lampu lalu lintas, that's a traffic light. Lampu meja is a desk lamp. Lampu sorot, a spotlight. Even lampu mobil for car lights. It's really foundational for anything that shines.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that layang example where the verb gets doubled, is that common in Indonesian?
Oh, it's a fantastic and very common pattern. You're spot on. Layang lang comes from layang, which means to float in the air.
Right.
Double it, and boom, you get noun kite. Another great example is makan.
Okay.
Comes from makan, meaning to eat. So makan means a feast.
Ah, like eat.
Exactly. If you get invited to an Indonesian makan, you know you're in for a good time. It's just a beautiful way the language builds new ideas.
That's really cool. Okay, and dokar. We heard that a couple of times. What's its story? More than just a horse cart.
Right, dokar is horse cart. But yeah, it's more than just the word. It's almost like a linguistic time capsule.
How so?
Well, this way of getting around, it was actually a primary mode of transport before cars and motorcycles became common.
Really?
Yeah. Nowadays, you'll still find them, sure, but mostly in rural areas or tourist spots. They're like a charming attraction now.
Ah.
It kind of shows Indonesia's connection to its past, you know, where this traditional transport becomes this unique, hands-on cultural thing for visitors, a real link to a time gone by.
So we've got these great words, but if Lisa wanted to describe how, really tall the monument was or those colorful lights, she needs more than just the words, right? She needs the grammar.
Exactly. This is crucial for learners.
How do you build those descriptive sentences?
Okay, this brings us right to a core grammar point, describing with adjectives. And here's the big rule for Indonesian, often a hurdle for English speakers.
Which is?
Adjectives always come after the noun they describe. Always.
Okay, so not colorful lights.
Nope, it's lights colorful. The basic formula is just noun plus adjective. If you have more adjectives, they just follow. Noun plus adjective plus adjective. Remember Lisa said, Lampu-lampu, berwarna-warni, sangat indah.
Yeah, the lights. Colorful, very beautiful.
Exactly. Berwarna-warni, colorful. And indah, beautiful, come right after lampu-lampu lights.
Okay. Can you give us another example to really nail that down? Maybe something simple like a green round cookie.
Good one. Our source has this. Ada 5 kue bulat yang berwarna hijau di atas meja.
Okay, break that down.
There are 5. Kue bulat, cookies round. Yang berwarna hijau, that are green colored. On the table. So kue bulat, cookies round.
Cookies round, green colored.
Another one, maybe a bit more complex. Ayah baru saja membeli lemari kayu antik yang besar dan berwarna ungu.
Well, okay, father just bought.
Lemari cabinet. Then come the adjectives. Kayu, wooden, antique, besar, big, huge. Then berwarna ungu and purple colored, all describing lemari.
So, cabinet wooden antique, big and purple colored.
Essentially, yes. It's a simple rule, but once you get it, it really unlocks describing things effectively.
That's super helpful. It's a fundamental shift in thinking. So, what are some common adjectives we should know? Especially for describing places like Monas.
Yeah, the list is pretty practical. For something really impressive, you might use menakjubkan or mengagumkan. That's like magnificent or impressive.
Okay.
For things that shine, like the top of Monas, maybe bersinar, terang, or bercahaya, that's shiny, bright, or luminous.
Makes sense.
Then you've got practical ones, bersih or muni for clean or pure. If something's valuable or fancy, berharga, valuable, or mewah, luxurious.
Right.
And of course, everyday ones, kuat, strong, rusak, broken, kotor, dirty, and rap, fragile. These really connect the language to what you actually see and feel.
That covers a lot of description. But what if you want to ask someone's opinion? Like, hey, what do you think of this monument? How do you phrase that?
Good question. For those kinds of questions, asking for an opinion, you use the structure. Bagaimana menurutmu benda ini?
Which literally means,
How is your opinion about this thing? But the cool part is, you swap out benda, which means thing, with whatever you're asking about.
okay, so instead of this thing, I could say this museum, or this city, or, this monument.
Exactly. Bagaimana menurutmu museum ini? What do you think about this museum? Bagaimana menurutmu kota ini? What do you think about this city? And for our topic, bagaimana menurutmu monumen ini? What do you think about this monument? It's very direct.
And the reply, is there a simple pattern for answering?
Yeah, very simple. The reply pattern is basically benda ini plus adjective. So this thing is plus adjective.
Okay.
For instance, someone asks, bagaimana menurutmu hotel ini? What do you think about this hotel? You could reply, hotel ini sangat mewah.
This hotel is very luxurious.
Exactly. Keeps the conversation moving nice and smoothly.
Okay, so we've seen how the language, the descriptions, bring monas to life. But what is monas, really? Beyond the words and grammar, what's the story behind this huge monument that Lisa and Anandi were looking at? Let's dive into that cultural heart.
Right, so Monas, it's Indonesia's national monument.
Okay.
Stands right in the center of Jakarta. It's truly the symbol of the city. It was designed by an architect named Frederick Silaban, and it was officially launched back in 1961 by Indonesia's first president, Sukarno.
And Ani mentioned the height, 137 meters.
Yeah.
Is there, significance to that number, or is it just how tall it is?
It's the exact height, yeah. 137 meters definitely makes it a landmark. But what's really significant symbolically is the top part.
The flame.
Yes, the flamed gold plating right at the peak. President Sukarno specifically chose that flame to symbolize the never extinguished spirit of the Indonesian people, their struggle for independence, achieving it, maintaining it. It's a very powerful visual metaphor.
That really is profound, and I think our source mentioned even deeper symbolism in the actual shape.
You're right, it did. The overall structure, the pillar and the cup shape, that's not just architecture. It actually depicts linga and yoni.
Linga and yoni.
Yeah, these are ancient Hindu Buddhist symbols. They represent the male and female forms or generative principles. Putting them there, it's not just decoration.
What does it signify?
Well, it speaks to this deep sort of foundational idea of cosmic balance, creation. It subtly weaves these, timeless philosophical beliefs right into a symbol of the modern nation and its birth. It suggests independence isn't just political, it's part of a bigger natural order.
Wow, that adds, so many layers of meaning. What about going inside? Can you actually go in Monas?
Oh, absolutely. Inside, visitors can check out the Independence Room that's in the cup part. It commemorates the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
And down in the basement, there's the National History Museum, which gives you a much deeper look into Indonesia's past.
And the view.
Right. There's an elevator that takes you right up to the top. It's highly recommended, apparently. You go out onto the top yard and just soak in this incredible view of Jakarta City spread out below. Really gives you a sense of the city's scale and energy.
It's truly amazing how one single place, one monument, can spark such a rich conversation about both language and culture. How does really understanding these layers, the flame, the linga and yoni, described using the language we talked about, how does that deepen our appreciation?
Well, it's precisely through understanding those descriptive details, isn't it? The height, the gold flame, the symbolism of linga and yoni. That's how we move beyond just seeing, a tall building.
Right.
The language we learn today, the adjectives, the structure, it helps us articulate those cultural details. It gives voice to the monument's own story. It basically transforms a physical thing into a living symbol of identity, of history, of struggle.
So you can kind of read the culture through its landmarks.
Exactly. You understand not just what Monas is, but why it stands there so proudly. The language unlocks that meaning.
What a journey today. We started with just Lisa and Andy chatting at a monument. Then we unpacked some really practical Indonesian vocabulary, got our heads around that crucial adjective rule.
The noun adjective order.
Yes. And then we dove into the really profound cultural symbolism of Monas itself, seeing how deep the meaning is embedded.
And hopefully this deep dive really does offer you that shortcut to being well informed by sort of blending the language learning with this rich cultural insight.
Yeah.
We hope you've gained a much richer, more nuanced feel for Indonesia, seeing how language really is the key to unlocking that cultural appreciation.
Which kind of brings us to a final thought, something for you, our listener, to mull over. How do other cultures use their descriptive language, maybe even the structure of their sentences, to embed their own history and values in their national symbols?
That's a great question.
Yeah, think about it. What other monuments or places could you maybe unpack now, using the kinds of insights we explored today? Keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep diving deep.
Exactly. Keep diving deep into those fascinating links between language and culture. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.